Today, we're digging into a powerful 5-step framework for building wealth, literally from scratch. And this isn't just some theory, okay? It comes straight from the real-world insights of Natalie Dawson, who actually co-founded a 9-figure company. She's seen these principles work time and time again. So let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? It's so frustrating. It feels like you're just running on a treadmill. You're working harder and harder, but you never actually get ahead. Well, you are definitely not alone in that. But what if the reason you're stuck has absolutely nothing to do with how hard you work? This is where we gotta bust some major myths. We tell ourselves these stories about wealth, don't we? That it's all about a lucky break, or you have to be some kind of genius, or just happen to be in the right place at the right time. But the reality? It's so much simpler. It is a process. It's a system that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and apply.
So where does this whole process even begin? Well, it's not with some hot stock tip or a get-rich-quick scheme. It starts right here, inside your own head. Because for most of us, the first and biggest hurdle is totally psychological. It's what we can call the financial mindset trap.
And this right here, this is the absolute foundation of step one. You've got to start looking at money for what it really is. It's just data. And data isn't scary. It's just information. It tells you exactly where you are so you can finally map out a clear path to where you actually want to go.
So why do we avoid looking at the data? I mean, let's be honest, it's because we're afraid of what we're going to see. But here's the paradox. That avoidance, that refusal to even look at your bank account, that is the very thing creating all the financial anxiety that keeps you paralyzed. Facing the numbers is the cure, not the cause of the stress. And here's exactly how you start. Make it a daily habit. Just log in. No more hiding from it. Then, track where every single dollar goes. Categorize it. By the end of this process, you won't have some vague guess about your finances. You'll know your exact cost of living, down to the penny. That clarity, that's where the power is.
Okay, so once you've stopped all the financial leaks, because you're measuring everything, it's time to go on offense. It's time to build your growth engine by fundamentally increasing your own value.
Now, this is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, but it is so essential to get this. You can work 80 hours a week, you can grind yourself to the bone, but if the problem you're solving isn't seen as valuable, your income is always going to have a ceiling. The key isn't to work harder, it's to solve bigger, more valuable problems.
Just think about it like this. A barista and a consultant can both work incredibly hard, right? But the barista is serving a $5 coffee, which solves a pretty small problem. The consultant, on the other hand, might solve a $1 million logistics problem for a huge company. The effort could be similar, but the value of the problem they're solving is just worlds apart.
So I want you to ask yourself this question. Stop thinking about your job title for a second and start thinking about the problems you solve. What skills, what knowledge, or what expertise could you develop that would let you tackle a problem that is 10 times more valuable than the one you're solving today? And that brings us to this huge paradigm shift. Most people think, when I finally have more money, then I'll take that course or I'll hire that coach. That is completely backwards. Investing in high-value skills is what causes the income to go up, not the other way around.
I mean, just look at Natalie Dawson's own story. She invested $5,000, which is a serious amount of money, into one single course to learn one very specific high-value skill, how to create and launch online courses. And the return on that one investment? Millions. That one skill became an asset that has paid her back thousands of times over. That is the incredible power of investing in yourself first.
But here's the catch, and this is important. Don't try to learn a little bit of everything. Pick the one most important skill that's going to help you solve that 10x problem we talked about, and then go all in on mastering it for 12 months. Focus is your superpower here. All right, so you've got your mindset right, you're focused on increasing your value. Now, how do you put it all together into an actual system that can break you out of that paycheck-to-paycheck cycle for good?
This is the 5-step system. Number 1, know your expenses. You've got the data from our first step, so you know the exact number. No more estimates. 2, define your target. Write down the precise income you need for the life you want. 3, identify the gap. Super simple. What's the difference between where you are and where you want to be? 4, add income now. Find a way to add more value in your current job to start closing that gap immediately. And 5, this is the secret sauce. Reinvest the extra. Every single dollar you make above your expenses goes right back into the skills and tools that will make you grow even faster.
Okay, now as your income starts to grow thanks to this system, you're going to face a brand new danger: lifestyle inflation. To protect your progress, Natalie uses a simple but super powerful rule from Grant Cardone. It's called the 2x rule. And pay attention to the crucial detail here: it's from passive income, not your salary. So that car you want, you need to have double its price coming in from your investments before you should even think about buying it.
This rule really forces you to ask a tough question. Are your spending habits focused on buying the symbols of success? You know, the fancy car, the expensive watch, the designer stuff? Or is your spending focused on building the systems of success? Things like assets, investments, and skills, the engines that actually produce wealth over the long term, instead of just consuming it.
So we have covered a lot of ground. Let's bring it all home and pinpoint what your very first move should be.
Here's the entire process in a nutshell. It all starts by facing your numbers, without being afraid of them. Then you shift your entire focus from just working harder to providing way more value. You invest in yourself to make that jump. You concentrate on growing your income, not just penny pinching. And finally, you use that new income to build real wealth-producing assets, not just a flashy lifestyle.
You know, at the end of the day, building wealth isn't some big mystery. It's a series of deliberate steps. The information isn't the missing piece here. Actually doing it is. The process is laid out right in front of you. So the only question left is, will you start today?